I'm jacjson, and I hate Kingdom Hearts. I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game, but that's what the internet tells me to think, and the funny people on your screen are always right.
Sora was recently added to Smash, and he's a lot of fun, but the first question on everyone's mind is, of course, can he go under Smashville? The answer to that question is yes, but there are still 102 other questions that need answering.
So how many stages can Sora go under? And more importantly, how many can he not?
Going through over 100 stages is unrealistic and unnecessary in a single video, so I'm going to divide these stages into 3 categories. The stages that have nothing to go under, the stages that are really easy to go under, and the interesting stages. There are 63 stages in Ultimate that are impossible to go under. Either they're walk-offs or there's a wall blocking from making it all the way. The most interesting stage in this category is Gamer. There is no reason why you can't go under this. The easy stages are divided into 2 subsections, Suzaku Castle and the rest of them. New Donk City is in the Suzaku Castle category. These stages can all be cleared really easily.
Wait, stop. I need a better term than cleared. Something awesome. How about spelunkied?
These stages can all be spelunkied, using only Sora's double jump, up B, and side B. There's no catch. He's guaranteed to make it under these, even with DDD in the way. That leaves 22 interesting stages to cover. The first one is Big Battlefield, which at first glance is massive. At second glance, Sora can't spelunky it. At third glance, he somehow has even more recovery options. Using Fire Aga in midair gives Sora a massive air stall that pushes him to the other side of the stage. And with this new tech, 10 more stages can be removed from the interesting list. So 87% of the stages have been sorted already. Either there's nothing to go under, or they're super easy to spelunky. But that's about to change. Let me introduce you to Jungle Japes. Jungle Japes has a rather large quantity of water right below the stage. This is a problem. Despite Jungle Japes being a regular sized stage, trying to go under ultimately causes you to catch onto this ledge. By not auto-targeting with B, it's possible to make it past the ledge, but after that, you're put into freefall. And then you die, right?
Breaking news! You're wrong!
See, landing in the water takes Sora out of freefall. If you were to jump out of the water immediately and use side B over and over again without holding B because then you'll snap to ledge, and avoiding claptrap because it makes you do the opposite of recovering, if you do all of that perfectly, it is in fact possible to go under Jungle Japes, which is better than Captain Falcon can do. Technically, the next stage on my list is Temple. I'm sure you're all clamoring to see this one, which is why I'm going to save it for last. I gotta get your watch time somehow. For now, let's take a look at Brinstar Depths. Brinstar Depths can be rotated by
Crag. Nope. Korg. No. Kermit the Frog.
in any of 360 degrees. Despite this video taking a month to come out, I did not spend 730 hours grinding this stage. I got footage of about 90, 180, 270, and 360 degrees, and generally speaking, Sora can go around it. At 360 degrees, Sora has the hardest time. He can go from the top ledge to the rock in the bottom right, but it's up in the air as to whether this counts as going around the stage or not. This could be considered Sora's first fail, but I'm not going to count it because for the other three directions, there is almost no challenge whatsoever in spelunking the stage. Since Sora can make it under 75% of the time, he passed this one. Port Town Arrow Dive may look like a joke, but it's more difficult to spelunky than you think. Jungle Japes had water beneath it, but Port Town has something far more terrifying: the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Sora can't get under this stage through traditional means. By trying to go below the stage, you risk either hitting the road or going through the top of it. That's not a spelunky. Instead, Sora needs to break a little bit of physics. By dropping off the stage and immediately side-being, he can go just far enough at the right height to barely snap to the ledge.
Sora can go under Smashville. There's no question about it. But just to satisfy all the people that doubt me, here's an awesome montage of Sora going under Smashville.
Now we get to the first giant stage of the roster. Newport City is not a difficult stage to go under, so I think it sets a good example of how the base length of a stage really does not matter for Sora. He can go anywhere he wants. The only reason that he's not at your doorstep right now is because he's air stalling somewhere over Jupiter. Jupiter, of course, being 75 meters. 75 meters isn't difficult because of its size, but because there are more ledges in it than there are hours of gameplay in Elmo's Ladder Adventure. This is a modern retelling of Icarus. If Sora flies too close to the blast zone, he dies, and if he flies too close to the ledges, I lose my job. Unlike the original Icarus, pressing L and R resets the story, and eventually I flew it just right.
O Hannenbow, for why art thou Hannenbow? Provide thy green screen and play thy game, or if thou shalt not, unsubscribe, and I'll no longer be a YouTuber. Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this? 'Tis but thy giant leaf in the bottom left corner that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though thou stage sucketh too.
The problem with Hannenbow is the leaf in the bottom left. To properly go under the stage, you have to navigate over the leaf and thread the needle between these two ledges. This is extremely difficult because the space is approximately 1 Sora wide, meaning if you aren't lined up perfectly, it's a failed spelunky. I tried to change the position of the leaf to make it easier, but to no avail. The only way to beat this one is through pure skill. Dracula's Castle. I didn't remember that this stage existed, and I didn't expect to be able to go under it either.
Why can you go under Dracula's castle, but not Gamer?
The stage is tough too. It dips into an arch, so you have to stay really low, but still come around into the stairs. It's deceivingly large, and you can't see very well either. Magickin is really big. I mean, of all the big stages on this list, this one has the biggest distance for Sora to Spelunky. The difficulty comes from the platform under the bottom. It is the same problem as Dracula's Castle in that you have to travel an extreme vertical distance. But you forgot this is Sora we're talking about. It wasn't a problem. And we've come to the end of our journey underneath almost every stage in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I promised Temple would be at the end, and I intend to keep that promise. I'm going to Spelunky from left to right solely because it's far more difficult. The first obstacle is this rather large rock. There are only a few pixels underneath it, and every attempt runs the risk of missing the gap too high and having to restart the run, or flying too low and dying to the blast zone. Once it got that consistent, I had a really hard time grabbing the first ledge. As it turns out, it's far easier to hug the left wall as you recover so Side B can grab onto the ledge. Now, this brings up a very interesting question. Is grabbing the ledge allowed? There are no characters in the game that can make it from the very bottom to the very top of the stage, especially with Sora having used all his recovery options so far. You can individually decide to make Sora fail this stage, but I'm a benevolent god, so I'll allow it. However, with this comes a new rule. The Around Temple challenge allows characters to jump from ledge. Considering that Sora doesn't deserve this accommodation, I won't give it to him. Sora can grab the ledge and refreshes up in Side B, but he has to fall from it to continue spelunkying. As it turns out, this is really difficult. I was certain Sora couldn't do it for almost a week. I took a break from thinking, and when I came back, it hit me. There is no need for Sora to get as high as possible and hug the left wall and perfectly Side B to grab this ledge. He can just go to the right side of the block.
That's 102 stages. Over 99% of the stages in Smash Ultimate Sora can go under. But you may have noticed the absence of one rather large stage.
Palutena's Temple! Regular Temple is not the hardest stage to go under. It hasn't been since Smash 4, and it never will be again. The bottom side of Palutena's Temple has the same general layout as Temple, a lengthy drop to a ledge grab to a final push at the end. However, Palutena has thrown in 3 rather large problems that make her temple the most difficult challenge Sora has faced yet. Challenge number 1. The ledge is on a platform that you can go through. On the original temple, you can just slide Sora against the wall and he ends up grabbing onto it. For Palu's, you have to loop around the platform so you don't accidentally go through it. While it's no problem for Sora to do this, as the player, it takes practice to go far enough without dying or going through the platform and landing on it. Challenge number 2. The cycling trio of platforms introduces 6 ledges that Sora is not allowed to grab onto. You have to get far off the ledge without latching onto the other ledges. However, you can't drop down too far or else you encounter challenge number 3. The really big gap. This is the farthest horizontal distance Sora has seen today. It might even be possible to get across it. However, it requires tech you learned in the 8th paragraph.
For comparison, this is the 37th paragraph.
Using Fire Auga on the right side might just barely get Sora across the gap, but there's a problem with that plan. Using Fire Auga on the left side also just barely gets Sora across the gap, and because Fire Auga cycles to Thunder Auga after one use, you can only use one Fire Auga during the recovery. The solution? Practice. Just like with Port Town Arrow Dive, if you slide in at just the right angle, you can latch onto the ledge without getting on top of it. Then it should be home free, right? Right?
The problem is, even though Sora can get across the gap, he can't go under it. No matter how many times I misuse the word spelunky, he will never make it under every stage in Smash Ultimate. There's no happy ending to this. Sora can't get under Palutena's temple. I can't see any feasible way for him to get under the right side.
Ha! Back off!